Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Monday. It is a new week. We're pretty much halfway through August now, aren't we? Almost. We are on day 16 of body mindfulness. It's now body mindfulness instead of body positivity because, I don't know, sometimes body negativity and body positivity seem to go hand in hand, right? Like we just kind of lose the whole thing in there. So what if we did body mindfulness, where we're really just kind of focusing on our body at this time, in this moment? Because that's really what it's all about, learning how to love yourself in this moment. So I have the Soul Truth cards to start with, and then as, I've said, I've been doing my homework through the Threads of Fate cards, which I really, really love. They really have a lot of insight, and I really think that they're going to benefit us on this body mindfulness journey. So let's see what today's card has to say to us, and then we'll jump right in. Today's topic for body mindfulness is love. That's right, it's love. So there we go. That was fast. That was fast, eh? Good morning, older sibling. Perfect card. How can I deepen my trust right now? Let go of the wheel you can trust. Okay, trust and surrender, all right? Trust and surrender. So how can I deepen my trust right now? So trust, surrender, let go of the wheel. You can trust. You can trust yourself, trust fully in yourself so that you can deepen your trust in others. Trust creates safety, and when we feel safe, we feel unstoppable. This is true. Today's soul action, let go and trust. Today, find your center in the chaos and be certain with yourself so you can deepen your trust in others. When we're going through a bout of body mindfulness, or the journey, I should say, not about, this is not a boxing match or an MMA fight. When we're going through the journey of body mindfulness, it really does require a lot of trust. And the trust it requires is not in anybody else, but in yourself. Yourself to believe in yourself. It requires trust to know that you are doing the right things for yourself, to, it's okay to trust others, but really when it comes to these big things, like maybe you're trying to give something up, maybe you're trying to move through pain, maybe you're trying to move through trauma, maybe you're trying to feel it to heal it, or go through it to grow through it, the one person you need to trust the most really is yourself. Because again, as I always say this, you are with yourself every single moment of every single day of your entire life. And, when we put our trust in other people's hands, when they leave, like maybe they go home, they walk out the door, whatever, however they leave, or, we're left to our own devices. So we can't always trust that, we can count on other people. And that doesn't mean don't count on other people. Absolutely. It's okay to put some of your trust somewhere. But like I said, your absolute 100% trust needs to be in you, because you're the one making your decisions. I've had a mindfulness thing I've been having to work through, and I've struggled through, and I have not done it yet. And I started this morning, and it was just kind of like, I have to trust this situation. I have to trust that everything's going to be okay, that I have the strength to move through this, new lifestyle that I'm trying to create for myself, this new lifestyle change for my own health. And I'm not advertising it anywhere here. I'm probably going to do little diary updates on Snapchat because honestly, I really don't want my Facebook people to know, because it's all my family and friends. And as much as I love them, I really do. Everybody means well, and everybody has an idea of what you should do, what you shouldn't do. But this worked for me, that worked for me. And then you feel like you're letting them down if you don't try it, but it gets so overwhelming. And then, you cycle back into these bad behaviors because you get overwhelmed, and you're like, oh God, did I let these people down? They mean well, but sometimes meaning well doesn't necessarily help. So we have to just kind of forge our own path. We have to find our own way through, and we have to do what is best for us in the timing that is best for us. It's good to have a support group, okay? I'm lucky I have a support group. I've told them, look, this is all I need from you. Sometimes I might cry through this. I might scream through this. I might get mad through this. I was laying in bed last night, and it was a mutual conversation But I really was kind of being an asshole last night, and I didn't really mean to, but when I was laying in bed, I was like, God, where did that come from? And I realized that I was projecting my fear. I was transferring my fear onto an entirely different situation because the lifestyle change I have to make is scary for me. You know, you get so into that, again, that itchy, scratchy blanket that serves absolutely zero purpose in your life. There's holes in it. The moths have gotten to it. It does not even keep you warm, but it's comfortable. So it serves no purpose. And that's some of the mindsets we're in. They serve no purpose, but they become so ingrained and so a part of us that, you know, we think this is what we need. We think this is the path. This is the way. And then when we have to change, we get scared. And for me, my fear comes out in all kinds of stupid ways and very inappropriate and unnecessary ways. And so, you know, I realized that last night while I was trying to get to sleep. And I think that's why I didn't sleep well last night, because I was like, God, what a terrible thing to do, you know? And like I said, it wasn't anything dire. It's all better this morning, but I was just so on edge and being such a dick last night. And, you know, poor older sibling, she caught the brunt of it. And it was just, and I realized it was fear. And that's an old pattern I don't want to revisit. I worked hard to move out from that person. You know, that hurt person hurting people, or that scared person hurting people. I worked hard. And then I slipped back into old patterns because it was comfortable. Because I am scared. Because it is this thing that I have to really kind of push forward through. And it scares the crap out of me. And so I realized that last night, and I thought, you know what? You need to just stop. You need to stop, and you need to take a deep breath, and you need to just allow yourself to move through this one moment at a time. It doesn't always have to be one day at a time, guys. If one moment at a time works for you, then do that. But you absolutely 100% have to trust that you are making the best decisions for yourself. Okay? So, and that includes with body mindfulness. You have to trust your opinion of yourself. So, today is the card based on love. I like this one to start the week with. Something to give everybody something to think about, right? Because there are going to be some questions that they're going to ask you to sit with. So this card is an invitation to examine love in all facets of your life. This is love of self, love of others, your healthy or not so healthy boundaries, your presence with others, your relationship with intimacy, if you feel seen and heard, passion, joy, and total responsibility. This card could signal a need to rebuild, or this could signal a need to build, a better relationship internally, or maybe with a partner in your business or work life, or even towards a goal or hobby. It could also be a reminder that love is a choice. Love is a choice. Love is a choice. You choose to accept it, and you choose to give it. Or you choose not to accept it, and you choose not to give it. And the question is, why? Why would you choose the second? Why would you choose the latter? Love is such a wonderful thing, whether it's romantic love, you know, familial love, friendship love, fur baby love, you know, or whatever kind of child pet you have. A pet child, you know, could be aqua babies, or, you know, all those different things, you know, feathered babies, all those things. You know, you choose to love something. And, you know, like I have or sibling and I have two cats, and there is one who just gets so bent out of shape if she does not have my full and undivided attention. But it depends when she chooses to give me her full and undivided attention. But you know what? That's how it goes, right? And it's not because she's a cat. I mean, these, you know, everyone always has these terrible things to say about cats, but cats are really not that bad. In fact, I'm gonna take a sidestep here. If you over pet a cat, or you play a little rough with them, they are going to swipe at you and they're going to bite you because they are overstimulated. It's not because they're being an asshole. It's because you are literally overstimulating them and they can't handle it. They're little, you know, their brains can't handle it. It's too much for them. So they'll do what they have to, but then all of a sudden they're lovey with you again. And people don't understand that, you know? So that's a little tip. If you don't want to get bit, don't be stupid. And yeah, I'm saying that because it's like, you know, everybody just automatically assumes cats are dickheads because they will do this, but they're not necessarily like dogs. Dogs, you can do all kinds of stuff with them and they're like, yeah, we just love it. Cats have different nerve endings and nerve system. Okay, they have a different nervous system. And, their bellies, their ears, all this stuff, it can overstimulate them. Playing too rough with them can overstimulate them. And it just, it's not that they're trying to be mean to you. It's just, they can't handle it. So they're just going to do whatever they can to defend themselves. Because they also don't know if they're being attacked, if you're being too rough with them. Sometimes if they just gently bite you, that's their love nip. Okay, that's their love nip. They're just saying, I love you, thank you for being here for me. So, let's dispel some myths about cats, all right? And that doesn't mean you have to like them. I'm just saying, if this has been your experience with them, then, take a step back, take a deep breath, and just chill, okay? Don't be a jerk back, because they're just trying to defend themselves. So, that's my side note. Back to the show. So with the love thing, I want you to sit with these questions. Do you actively work on your relationship with yourself? I cannot tell you how important this is in body mindfulness. It is 100% important to have this, 1000% important to have a loving and wonderful relationship with yourself, your body, everything. Maybe you have some things wrong with you. Maybe you're like me and you have a dinged up mental health. You could sit there and go, why can't my brain be normal like well, you could sit there and ask that all day long. But your brain is your brain. Your traumas are your traumas. And we have to choose whether to heal them and move through them so that we can move through to help other people, but also not live in that pain, not live in that. And sometimes when you do have a dinged up mental health, it can make it harder to move through those things because it's just a constant loop playing in your head. And for a lot of people, that's just not, it's not something they are able to do because there are different levels of mental health. But you can hate your brain, or you can find a way to love it and say, look, okay, these are my struggles. This is my trauma. This is what I have to deal with. This is what I have to feel to heal. This is what I have to go through to grow through. And as we face that fear, we start to take our power back. And a lot of it can do with our bodies, our body mindfulness, our, how we treat ourselves, who we see in the mirror, who we choose to love that we see in the mirror or not to. And you have to make that choice. Do you want to love yourself, or do you want to consistently hate yourself? Because I tell you, the latter ain't going to do you any good. It's not going to help you. Not one bit. Not one iota. It's just going to reinforce all this negative stuff that you feel about yourself. So you have to ask yourself, do you actively work on your relationship with yourself? Now, this isn't for everybody, but if you have a partner, do you feel balance in the relationship? If you are in a relationship, do you feel that balance with your partner? Do you feel that balance with them? Do you feel like you're giving everything and they're not giving anything at all? And you have to ask yourself some questions. Is this the kind of relationship I want? Now, sometimes it's not like, oh, well, I'm just going to break up with them. No, try to have that talk. Have that talk and say, look, you know what? I feel like my needs aren't being met. Even if you're not married and you are a couple, you can go to couples counseling, because some people don't realize that this is their behavior. They're just so used to it, and it's just nobody calls them out on it. And it could be you. It could be you. You may have this tendency to be standoffish and they're just reacting to you. So it's not always about your partner. Sometimes it is about ourselves. Sometimes it is about the person we see in the mirror. Maybe you don't love your body enough, so you just kind of, you shudder and you just kind of hold back, or you might have these moments where you disappear in yourself and they don't know. They don't know what you're going through. Trust. That's where trust comes in. It's not just about trusting yourself, but you have to trust yourself enough to be able to trust other people. And that doesn't mean you have to tell them everything, but you could just tell them, look, you know what, I have kind of this body issue, or I struggle with body negativity. And, if you are in a good and loving and healthy relationship, I'm sure they're going to help you and talk you through this. It is something you can work on together and grow through together. Sometimes it's those things that can really help solidify your bond. All right. Do you feel balance in your friendships? Is it a one-sided? It's the same thing as the partnership, right? It's the same thing as the relationship. Do you feel that balance in your friendship? Do you feel it's a give and take? Or do you feel it's a give and receive, or give and receive and a give and a receive? You have to decide what your boundaries are in these relationships. Are there people you do need to set boundaries with? And it doesn't just have to be friendships. It could be family. Sometimes when you set those boundaries with family, they start to learn and they start to understand. Okay, and then they start to fix themselves. They take accountability for their behaviors, and I've seen this. I've seen this with a family member of mine. They lost so much, and they started taking accountability for their actions and getting help with their behaviors and their reactions to things. And now it seems, knock on wood, that this lasts this time. They're starting to thrive because they realize what they've lost. But now they're slowly working to gain it back. Okay? And the person that they hurt, they're working to gain that back with that person. And that's what's important. It's about showing people, look, you know what? Your behaviors are not okay. And if you want to be a part of my life, this is what you have to do. And I get updates on this person, and I'm very, very proud of them. I'm 100% proud of them because they're trying to figure out how to thrive. And it seems to me that they are. So, so next one, how do you feel in your work environment? How do you feel in your work environment? My last work environment, I felt wonderful. I felt seen. And then in the last 2 years, I felt not safe. And I felt very undervalued. And unfortunately, that caused my demise. And, and I think sometimes, and I tried to speak up. And I think that is actually what caused my demise. So, but in the long run, it forced me to be on a path that I'm not sure I ever would have been ready for, that I'm not sure I ever would have taken. And it really kind of contributed to the true healing that I've had to do, because I wasn't able to ignore it anymore. I had to face it head on. I had to run at the fear instead of away from it. So you have to ask yourself, how do you feel in your work environment? Do you feel safe? Do you feel seen? Do you have passion for this job? There's that old saying, right? When you love your job, you don't work a day in your life. When you love your job, you don't work a day in your life. And, sometimes we're not going to love our job, but we like the money that comes with it, right? So that's not a bad thing either. You like the lifestyle that it funds for you, the things that you're able to do for yourself, the life that you're living. But if you feel like you're just living in a mundane space, you have to find, your path. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, don't just quit your job, okay? Because you have to support yourself. You have adult responsibilities. But that doesn't mean you can't work for something bigger. And sometimes it does take a little bit of that extra effort to put in that, oomph, So there's that. What is your relationship with passion? And do you have time for it? What about intimacy? Now, these are 3 different questions, but 4 different. And do you feel uncomfortable with it? The reason I'm putting all of these together is I have to tell you, one of the reasons I think I'm still single is because it scares me. It has been years and years and years since I have been in a relationship. Yes, I said years and years and years. And I'm so afraid that I'm just going to, find a relationship and just fuck it up. Like, seriously. And there's no other word that I can use but that one, because that's really how I feel about it. I feel like I'm just going to mess it up. And it scares me to the core. Do I want to be in something? Yeah. I mean, baby sibling just celebrated her 1-year anniversary of her first date with her boyfriend, and it was so random. He literally just messaged her on Facebook out of nowhere. She'd never met him, never seen him, didn't know him. And, I guess I don't know if they had a mutual friend or something, but, they saw her and said, you just look like a really nice person. And at first she was like, you know what? Whatever. This is probably one of those people that sit there and write the same thing on everybody's post. But then he messaged her again, says, look, I'm not going to message you again, but I just wanted to tell you if you'd like to meet, message me back and let me know. And it was just so organic and so random. And, bless his heart for reaching out to her, because he is an absolute sweetheart. He is a dream in her life. He is so good to my nephews. He is so good to my nephews and her. I mean, obviously in her, but when you have kids, it kind of can put a whole different aspect on a relationship. But he is so wonderful to the 3 of them. They are literally like a little family. now. And it's such a beautiful thing to see, and to think that he just messaged her out of the blue and said, hey, you look like a really nice person, so blah, blah, blah. And it didn't sound like that little script thing that I keep seeing on a lot of my public posts. Hey, sorry to drop in on you. I didn't think you'd want to blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. It's like, seriously, I've gotten the same script on 5 different pictures. And each time I block them and report them, it's like, what the hell? Seriously, what's wrong with you people? But she knew that this was an actual person, not someone fishing. And yeah, she just, and ladies, be careful for the people that are fishing out there, especially people around my age. They think we're desperate. They think we're lonely. And it's like, this is where you have to really trust your instincts. Okay? Truly. I mean, there are people who might reach out to you via text or through social media that just say, hey, you know what? I'd really like to talk or get to know you or blah, 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 or are you interested? And I know that sometimes that might seem weird, but it worked out for a baby sibling. And like I said, she kind of blew him off at first thinking, yeah, whatever. And then he messaged her again. And then she's like, well, what the hell? I'll just text. And then they haven't stopped talking since. So, you never know what's going to happen. But again, what is your relationship with passion? Do you have time for it? Or do you take time for it? What about intimacy? And do you feel uncomfortable with it? Now, if you are in a relationship, do you take time for passion? Or are you just kind of saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm working. Now, if it's because you have a fear of intimacy or you have a fear of this passion, talk to your partner. Otherwise, they're going to think, you know what? Maybe they're not interested. And then things start to fizzle and things start to go downhill. And then you wonder, well, wait, what happened? What happened? This is what happened in my last relationship. I tried so hard. Intimacy scares me even when I was in a relationship. But I had tried to figure out a way to work through it. But they absolutely put no effort into our relationship. And I'm not trying to make myself sound like a saint. I'm not. I even tried to talk to them and they're like, nothing's wrong. But, sometimes things, I guess, just aren't meant to be. And it broke my heart. It did. It really broke me for a long, long time. Because I thought that was the one. But I know. But I took time for it. I tried to initiate so many times. And it just felt like they just weren't interested. And then I always felt bad because when I broke up with them, this is like the only person I've ever broken up with, really. And they cried and said, well, I don't understand. And I tried so hard to talk. I did everything the right way. I talked to other people. I did my homework. I said, am I doing the right thing? And they were so involved in their own life that they forgot I existed in it as well. And, I work hard thinking, God, what if I become that person? But I was also in a different place back then mentally. I was in a place where I absolutely needed to be loved. My relationships defined me. A relationship should never define you. Okay? Some people say it shouldn't complete you, but it can complete you. Okay? Just like in the Jerry Maguire thing, right? You complete me. But, it can complete you if you want, or it can add to your life, or however you want to put it. But a relationship should never define you. It should not. Your relationship with yourself should define you. How you treat yourself, how kind you are to yourself, how the balance is with your relationship with yourself. Are you feeling balanced? Do you feel those moments where you kind of just go off key a little bit and go, whoa, and you have to circle back and figure out where things went sideways? The one relationship that should define you is the one with yourself. All the other ones are bonuses. All the other ones are wonderful additions to your life. And yeah, they can complete you. It might be this person that's been missing from your life and all of a sudden the puzzle feels complete, right? And if it doesn't last, it's okay. Enjoy it for the time that it does. If it does last, then hey, kudos to you and congratulations, because that's a big feat, finding your person in this world. I swear I'm never sure I'm going to find mine. But I know they're out there somewhere. But yeah, but also if you're struggling with the intimacy and you're struggling with being comfortable with it, if you're comfortable enough, talk to your partner about that, okay? Because, it can also open that door of trust to them if you trust yourself with them. And that will show them, hey, this person is serious about us, because they're sharing. And like I said, you don't necessarily have to share your trauma with them. You could just say, whoa, for me, I used to think it was my trauma, but now it's just because it's been so long, you know, since somebody else has been in the room during those intimate moments. I know it's a little open for me to say that, and it's probably TMI and sharing too much, but I want people to realize that putting this uncomfortable stuff out there is because I want you to be able to see yourself. I want you to be able to really, really kind of sink into that body mindfulness and to love yourself completely. And, when you're ready, to allow that other person to love you as well. To be able to be intimate with somebody and just trust that they are going to meet your needs and that you are going to meet theirs. Remember, it's a two-way street. If you want someone to meet your needs, you've got to meet theirs. Have the discussion. What do you like? What do you don't like? There are some people who will just go through the motions because it might be something they think you'll like, and it may not be something you like at all. It may be absolutely nothing that you like at all. But also get comfortable being uncomfortable if there's something they want you to do for them. Okay, why do I feel like Dr. Ruth all of a sudden? I don't know. Am I too old? I mean, do people even remember her? But it is a two-way street. Talk about talk about the intimacy before you get there. That way when you get into that hot and heavy, passionate moment, you're both going to know what the other one wants. And it might be an uncomfortable conversation to have because maybe you're not sure you're going there, but I think you'll know if not the conversation is the right time to have it, or if your relationship is heading in that direction, or if it's just going to end up being something platonic. Whatever it is, you'll know. Follow your spidey instincts, follow your intuition. This is where that trust comes in again. Okay, trust. You have to trust yourself. Okay, so do you feel love avoidant or love addicted? I kind of just talked about that, didn't I? Love avoidant or love addicted. I used to be love addicted. I did. I mean, I had a lot of, I've never randomly dated. Okay, I've always had a boyfriend. But when I was in relationships, it was, but it was never like, oh, I dated and then it just didn't work out. No, it was just, it always led to some kind of relationship, no matter how long it lasted, whether it was a couple weeks, a month, a couple years, or a couple of months. So, but I was love addicted. I thought that my worth depended on how other people saw me, how loved I was, whether my relationship was awesome or not, or whether I just had a boyfriend. And now I think because of all of that, and because I've done all this healing, and because it's been so long since I've had a relationship or even dated, that I'm literally, I could give nuns a run for their money. Okay. But I know, but I feel like maybe I'm love avoidant. Like it just scares me now. Because then you start thinking, what if I'm not enough? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not small enough? What if I don't fit into their ideal of what they want? And you start overthinking everything. Am I small enough? Am I pretty enough? Am I smart enough? Am I, funny enough? I know, you start overthinking everything. When that moment happens, try not to overthink it. Just go with the flow. I know how hard that can be. Trust me. I know how hard that can be. Trust me. But you have to decide, do you want to be love avoidant or love addicted? You really don't want to be either. You want to be kind of in the middle, right? That balance, love balance. You don't want to be addicted to somebody's love, because that's just going to go down a rabbit hole you don't want to go down. And it's going to start leading to anxiety, overthinking, and probably either the demise of a relationship, or you become completely submissive to their every will and demand. And then you lose yourself in the person they want you to be, instead of being honorable to yourself, or honoring yourself and being yourself in this relationship that is balanced. That's an imbalanced relationship. Remember, a relationship should complete you, not define you. Okay, and you can switch the complete me part to a relationship should be a bonus or a lovely addition to your life, but it should not define you. It should not define the person you are, who you think you are, or who you think you're becoming. It should be a balanced feeling. Okay, so what is your attachment style? I just basically covered all that. So, but what is yours? How do you express love? How do you express love? Our relationship with love in all of its forms is always in motion and flux. Spend a day or two witnessing how love lives in your life. So be conscious of it. If you have a partner or you have friends or you have family, just see how love works in your life. Love isn't always about a relationship, guys. It's not always about being in that romantic relationship. Love is family and friends and work people. You know, see how it flows in your life. It's your pets, right? Your little animal babies. You know, it's your children. How does love live in your life? How do you allow your love to live in their life? You know, do you go the extra mile when they go the extra mile? Or are you just saying, hey, pamper me because I deserve it? No, it's a two-way street. Okay, I mean, the funny thing is, I'm really good at preaching. I'm not very good at practicing, and like I said, my therapist keeps telling me I should be in a relationship by now, or at least dating. But, I know. I just wish maybe it could happen like baby sibling happens. Somebody messages you out of the blue and says, hey, want to talk? Sure. But, you know, not someone that's sitting there trying to scam you out of all the money, your life savings. But somebody legitimate, you know, somebody just reaching out and saying, hey, you know, I saw your profile. You look fun and amazing and blah, blah, blah. And maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe that's what I hide behind, you know, but it is what it is. So you have to decide in your body mindfulness how love lives in your life. So again, like the last part says in, you know, that we just read, over the next 1 or 2 days, actually just make it 3 days. Okay. Over the next couple of days, see how love lives in your life. Like I said, whether it's with, you know, in a partnership, a love relationship, a family relationship, friendship, your fur babies, how does love live in your life? And are you giving back the exact same? Are you presenting yourself in a you know, give and receive and a give and receive position? All right. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Think about that. Okay. Remember, how does love live in your life? Look at it. Be conscious of it, because that really can lead to body mindfulness. That can help you in your body mindfulness and loving exactly who you are in this moment. That's why I changed it from body positivity to body mindfulness, because no matter what shape or size you feel you are, body negativity doesn't care. But body mindfulness can help you love who you see in the mirror at this moment and your reflection every time you pass it today. All right. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow for day number 16 of Body Mindfulness, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shelley Marie Lucas. I also forward this to my Facebook page, The Aloha Perspective, and I upload them to my YouTube page, The Aloha Perspective. If you would rather see a shorter version of this, what I call the quick convenience store one, I do a short 10-minute or less TikTok on the same subject, but without all the extra stuff that you get with me talking here. All right. It just kind of, you know, work it out on your own kind of thing. So have a great day, everybody. Oh my gosh. I haven't even had caffeine yet. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And again, please take care of yourself, and please practice body mindfulness and love who you see in the mirror, because that person, they deserve to be loved.